Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Okay, so good morning, Jennifer Fowler. She was on it. She was minutes early. And our friend Carrie. Carrie is on her way back to Europe, but she had a pause in her travels and she is here. Carrie, we're so glad you're here. Hi, my friend. How are you? Yay! We're here. Woohoo! It's a lovely Thursday in Northwest Indiana. Yes, just in case we haven't met yet, my name is Chris Acton with Acting Creative, and this is Live at the Loom. Woohoo! Every Thursday morning, we get together and talk about, how our weeks are and life and fiber, a little bit of weaving. Today we're actually going to talk about a lot of weaving. Today is going to be so much fun. I am so glad you're here. And believe me, I have all kinds of things on the agenda for us today. So you showed up on a really good day. Wow, look at all this. Hello, Laura Miser. Hello, Maureen from Kalamazoo. Hello, Sam from sunny Southwest Ontario. Hello, Ray. Buenos dias. Hello, my friend. Hi, Sherry. Oh, hi, you guys. It's so nice to see everyone. How are you? Good morning, Tanya, my friend. How are you? How is it going? It's a little brisk here this morning. My dad likes to do a big old long walk in the morning, and he was like, it was 46 when I left the house this morning. He's like, okay, that's chilly. That is chilly. Yes. Carrie says, I've learned that I'm beginning to get too old for international traveling. Carrie, that means you just need to move here. That's what that means, my friend. Just come on over. We would love to. We'll accept you with open arms here in the Midwest. Just come on over. Yes, yeah. Hello, Monica. Buenos dias. How are you? Hello, Christy from New Mexico. Hi. How is the weather in New Mexico, my friend? What's it look like there today? By the way, I'm not really complaining about the chillier weather today because we're having this incredible stretch of just sunshine. Like we don't know what to do with ourselves. This is not normal. This is not normal for us, but it is. Yeah, we're having a lot of sunshine and pretty darn nice weather here. I have to say, it is quite the gift. Yes. Hello, Camille. How are you? Hello, Jessica. Yay. Jessica sold the Leclerc. Congratulations. Woohoo. That's awesome. Hola. Hello, everyone. It's so good to see you. Yes. How are you? How's your week been? I have been a gardening fool over here. But it's all good. I there's like permanent dirt under my nails now. I keep washing them, and I was like, oh, whatever, it's fine. Tomorrow I'm gonna put it right back in the dirt, anyways. And I have a little evidence of my radishes are coming up because I love some radishes, and they take like 30 days, 28 days to come up. So I have some radishes coming up at the moment. I have signs of peas, which I'm very excited about, and we'll see. There's some tomatoes. Okay, there's not even some tomatoes. There's a ridiculous amount of tomatoes. A lot. Like I totally got carried away. So we have a lot of tomatoes happening over here. I mean, not actual tomatoes, the plants. We've just started a lot of them. Yes. Christy reports that Artesia is a little cloudy, but should be in the mid 90s today in New Mexico. Nice, excellent. Hello, Sue Ann. I feel like I just saw you, my friend. It's so much fun. Ray says today is lovely, partly cloudy, 80 after a stormy night in eastern New Mexico, West Texas. I understand that. Sam says her tomatoes and sweet red peppers are thriving. I love it, Sam. Okay, if my tomatoes don't work out, you can just send me some, would you? Just yeah, come on over. Jennifer says run your nails through a bar of soap before you work in the dirt. Oh, aren't you clever? Oh, I'm totally gonna try that, Jennifer. That's pretty brilliant. Hello, Jamie Jean. Good morning. So cold and windy here, right? I know it's brisk. It is brisk. It's not so cold you have to cover the plants, but it's yeah. We've had some like, what was it, Monday or Tuesday? It was like 85, 87 here, and today the high is like I don't know, high 60s maybe. Yeah, yeah. Hello, Laura from Arizona. Gorgeous weather here. Arizona pretty much, they almost always have gorgeous weather, don't they? There's a couple really hot days in the summer, but otherwise, yes. Jessica's obsessed with fig trees this year. Jessica, do you have fig trees? Because yes, please. I don't know. I don't know if fig trees, can you grow fig trees in the Midwest? I'm very curious about that. I know that Carrie has fig trees at her house in Spain. Carrie says she made a rep weave rug. Rep warp rug, A4 cotton and mop yarn for my friend while I was visiting with her. That's so cool. I used Is that a Harrisville? Something 54-inch rug loom and had fun playing with another loom. Yes, I know. That was so sweet. I was so much fun. I don't know if you guys caught this, but Carrie lives in Spain, but she was in the Midwest. We actually got to meet. So much fun. It was awesome. Laura says they had hail. Laura, in Arizona, you had hail? That's crazy. Christy says we've had no rain. We need it bad. Yes, we're watering things pretty much every day here because it's been a long stretch of no rain here. I'm with you. Laura says she killed some of her plant starts. It happens. There's some I feel like that just get sacrificed to the agriculture gods, that you just kind of go, okay, I'm so sorry. I sent you all my love and it still didn't work. So we'll just try again. So I understand that. Yeah. Sue says sunny and mid 70s today in Seattle. Ooh, that sounds pretty darn perfect, Sue-Ann. Yes, Ray says, Ray's in Texas. We've had showers, but bad hailstorms around. Okay, hail can do some pretty serious damage. I hope everybody's okay. All the houses and cars and people and all that kind of stuff. Yes, yeah. Jessica says 3. My latest is a Tennessee mountain. Oh, you have 3 fig trees. That's awesome. My latest is a Tennessee mountain fig, very cold hardy. Okay, Jessica, I'm gonna need to know more about growing fig trees. That's amazing. Hi, Tamison. Tamison always comes flying in. I imagine if we were in like an in-person classroom, Tamsin would always be like, okay, hi, I'm here, and sit in the back. Like I can just imagine. That's perfect. We're just glad you're here, my friend. You don't worry about being on time. It's totally fine. Yes. Laura says, yeah, the hail has been crazy. Wow. Yeah, Tamison went for a walk on the beach this morning. Okay, we are all jealous of you, my friend Tamison. That is amazing. Oh, okay. Jessica with the fig trees is in South Jersey, moderate climate. Okay, don't encourage me. I may have to get fig trees for next year. What is that about? Well, Ray says some of the hailstones were grapefruit size. Ray, that we're not even playing. Grapefruit size. That's crazy. That's real damage then. That's not like the little kind of the little, the ones just ping off the pavement. That's, oh my goodness, you guys, there's all kinds of weather excitement happening here, isn't there? Okay, so tell me how your week was. How are things going? We'll just dive right into the projects. How are the projects going? Give me all of the updates. Yes. By the way, let me put my tea down. I have show and tell for us. I'll just kick it off, right? Okay, so you'll notice that I'm sitting at the other end of the basement because I have a project on the floor loom. I cannot wait to share it with you. It is turning out so fun. You never know, right? But I do have, good morning, Ellen. I did get the holiday fabric off of the table loom. So I will start with show and tell here this morning. So first of all, Ellen says she has a new set of scarves on the loom. Oh, I love that. Ellen does the best scarves. Ellen does the best scarves. If you've never seen Ellen's work, it is stunning. So go check her out. Let's see. Okay, so I took the holiday fabric off of the table loom and I made sure that I washed it and dried it last night so we could talk a little bit about shrinkage this morning because shrinkage is fascinating. It's this kind of part science, part art, the trying to estimate shrinkage, because I can use the same cotton over and over and over again, and the shrinkage will be different pretty much every project because it depends on what combination of your weave structure, like how long are your floats. That'll give it more space to shrink up, and fascinating. So I'm always curious as to what the shrinkage actually is. Jessica says she's currently crocheting. My loom is in move mode. Oh, that's understandable. Yes. Jamie says no weaving happening, but I am purchasing a car this week. Oh, congratulations. Pardon me. And congratulations. And I got a job teaching kindergarten for the next school year. Yay, Jamie. That's fantastic. You'll be brilliant teaching kindergarten. That's a match made in heaven right there. Laura says she finished 3 blankets. Lots of mistakes, but I still love them. I'm contemplating putting on a warp for rag rugs next. Love that. Okay, so let me show you here. This is the project. Now, just in case you didn't catch any of this project while I was on the loom, here was my goal for the fabric. I don't know if I have any close to me. I don't think I do, but I make little ornaments with scrap yarn, whatever. And last year First of all, you know I don't sew. So I have one of my seamstresses has this fancy machine that she can just kind of program, and it makes the little loop so we can put a ribbon in. You can hang it. It's very fancy. Anyways, so Joyce typically does these ornaments for me, and last year, like October 1st, I was like, oh, I don't really have a lot of ornaments for the holidays. So this year, I thought I'm going to get ahead of the game. So pretty much starting the new year, I was like, Joyce, we're just going to do ornaments the whole year round. But as I was looking at the scrap yarn, the scrap fabric that I was giving her, not a lot of it could really be used for like traditional, like, green and red kind of holiday stuff. So I want to make some fabric that will just be cut up into ornaments. That's what the goal was for this fabric. So here we go. So that's why it kind of changes as it goes, because I want it to be a little different and a little mix of, variety. That's what I was after, my friends. Variety. Okay, so here we go. This was kind of this is the beginning of the project. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. So we've got a little, you can see what I did was I had 3 different kinds of greens, kind of green stripes in the warp here. And I just kind of changed up the weft, because you imagine like one ornament will fit here, another one will fit over here. So even if they're side by side, she cuts them out like that, they'll still look different from each other, which I love. Okay, so I did some of this with all of the red. Here's what's so interesting, I think, is that the green here is kind of a little more of a brownish kind of green, a little more olivey kind of color, but it looks so different here than it does like even with the white right there. Yeah, very different. So a little section of just red, a little section of just white. The pattern is just kind of a mix of plain weave and twill, whatever I felt like, honestly. And then I did some of the green part turned out really pretty. I like this kind of the contrast between the 3, which is very fun. I did a very dark green. Ooh, look how dramatic that is. It seems very, very serious and dramatic, doesn't it? All the dark green. And I kind of figured I did some of those all green because, you could use it for other holidays too. Like she could put a little shamrock pattern on the back and we could call it St. Patty's Day. Whatever. I love green. So it's not a hardship to make more green fabric. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Oh, how interesting is that little bit? I like this right there in the middle with that kind of grassy green. That's a really kind of fun. I have a friend in college who would always say, that was a good bite. So every so often when I look at fabric, I'm like, oh, that's a really good bite right there. Thank you, Dee, for that phrase that I use often. But you can see how I just kind of made little modifications as I went through the fabric. That's fun, right? And what's so interesting is that we're looking at it all together, but we're going to cut out, like, there's going to be little bits and bobs as we make the ornaments. So then they'll look like, it's interesting when like I said, we're looking at it together, but if you are going to do an ornament and it's just from, like this section here, it's like you kind of pinpoint different things. Isn't that fun? So that was my show and tell for us. And I was going to talk about shrinkage, is that in a little twist of irony, my width and my length shrunk the same amount. Okay, that hardly ever happens. Just hardly ever. They both shrunk 12%, which that's a chunk, right? My width started out as almost exactly 9 inches wide. I put it at 10 inches in, is that right? Yes, 10 inches in the reed. I ended up, when it came off the loom, it was 9 inches. And then once it shrunk, 8 inches. It shrunk a whole inch in the width, right? And then the length, when it came off the loom, I had just kind of shy of 8 feet, 7 feet, 10.5 inches. And then it shrunk almost 12 inches. It shrunk down to 6'11". So yeah, 12% in both directions. Crazy. That never happens. But it was a very fun project. And I wanted to kind of walk you through my thought process for how I kind of planned it, how it ended up, and what we'll use it for, just so you get some ideas for if you need a little something for your future projects here. Okay, so Sherry jumped in and said, no projects here. The Midwest Weaving Conference is getting closer and it's taking all of your time. I believe that. I hope to meet some of you peeps. Yes, absolutely. Yes, we have an amazing lineup of vendors. So if you need something to do, come to Iowa and shop. Yes. Sherry, will you include a I'll share the link. If you would, will you put the link in the chat so I can share with the group and they can write it down? Yes, Sherry's the one who brought me into the whole Midwest Weaving Conference, and it's going to be great fun. We're having a, correct me if I'm wrong, Sherry, it's the teachers reception. Is that the 14th, 15th? I know it's a Tuesday or Wednesday of that week of June. And I'm hoping that if you guys are coming, stop in and say hi. You can meet Sherry and myself and whoever else we can rope in to come in, right? Hello, Don Miller from Nova Scotia. You're fine, my friend. There's no late at Live at the Loom. That should be like a phrase. We'll put it on t-shirts. There's absolutely no late at Live at the Loom. We're just glad you find us. That's you just get here when you can. It's no worries. Ray says it's always hard to get Christmas projects started in June. Amen, Ray. I am someone who does not do well shopping off season. Do you know what I mean? Like for me to buy a tank top in January is not going to happen. So that is tough. Believe me, this was I'm very proud of myself for doing a holiday fabric in the spring. Yes, yeah. Carrie says, I'm glad that you said a shrinkage changes for the same yarn, right? That's what we discovered after we made a sample. Then the final rug shrank differently. Oh, yes, right? It is, it's so true that it all depends. Because the difference, let's say that I took the exact same, because I was using my 8/4 cotton that I love. But let's say that I do a rep weave project, shrinks completely differently, like it's day and night. So, oh yeah, Laura asked about seeing an ornament. Oh, I do have them close. I'm glad you asked. Okay, hold that thought, Laura. Let me see if I can grab it. Here, hang on. It's I have like all these little piles of things around my chair. It's funny over here. Okay, so let's see. Here, this is yeah. Here, this is an ornament. I'll take it out of the plastic so you can see it. It's just like this size. And she's one of the machines that you can program. Do you know what I mean? And it makes, look at that. So one side is just hand woven fabric, right? And the other side is some kind of just a complementary, something that goes with it. But then like her machine will create all of this, all those bits, which is brilliant. And this was kind of an early one. Let me see if I can find, we've started to do like a double frame around, let's see. You can't see that one as well. This one right here. We've started to do kind of a double frame to catch any, because hand woven stuff can be, mine especially is like a looser weave, so I don't want any little bits to pop out of the ornaments. So look at that guy. So she started to do kind of we've got it framed in an interior and then the exterior to kind of make sure we catch all of the. Oh, speaking of kind of a St. Patty's Day kind of look. So yeah, so those are the ornaments that we make, and they're brilliant for, what do you do with your extra fabric? Because there's always little bits left, right? And you can hang on to it forever and just admire your pile of extra little bits of fabric, or you can find a little something to do. So steal that idea, you guys. Absolutely, that's feel free to take advantage of all of that. Let's see. Camille says, I think that the green, solid green in the middle is my favorite. I'm glad you like that section. Yes. Oh, there we go. Sherry included the link right there. There's the lineup on Facebook for the Midwest Weavers Conference 2023 coming up in June. I think it's the 12th through the 17th, if I remember correctly. That is the link. Go check it out. Come see us. If you're anywhere close to Des Moines, just drive right over. Let's see. Jessica was chatting with Dawn did a motorcycle tour of Canadian Maritime. Love Nova Scotia. I haven't explored much of Canada, I gotta say. Maybe one day I'll do a big tour and come see all my Canadian friends. Right? We'll do that. Carrie liked the double framing of the ornaments. Thank you, Carrie. It's, what, we did it not so much as like a design element, but as for practical reasons to catch all the little bits, but it has some kind of fun design potential. So I like that. Yes. Laura asked, are you saying there's a machine that makes the frame? There is. There is, Laura. Let me see. I could probably get her sewing machine information from, I'm sure Joyce will share that. But yeah, it's one of those that, you know how you can like program the machine so it'll like write in cursive with like it'll do like monograms or whatever. Like it has like an embroidery kind. I think that's ultimately what it is. It has kind of an embroidery functionality to it, so that you could be like, I want to have a bird show up in this fabric, and you can like push the bird and it just does it. Like it's magical. I don't know. Like I said, sewing is not my jam, but yeah, Sherry asked about the machine too. You know what? I will find, you guys, I'll find out which kind of machine. I could be saying that wrong. Maybe it's not technically a sewing machine. Maybe it's an embroidery machine. That could be. So I will find out more details for us, because if you have such a lovely beast in your house, you should absolutely make some ornaments with your leftover hand woven fabric. Laura says she'd make lace ornaments for gifts. Oh, Laura, that sounds gorgeous. Yes. Sam says must go through miles of thread. I think it's a lot. Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Ray has a question. Is the Midwest Weaving Conference in Iowa every year? Does it rotate? It rotates, is my understanding. Sherry, can you jump in and clarify for us? I don't think that'd be a lot for one guild to take on, even though it's every 2 years. That would be a lot for one guild to take on, is to have it all the time. I think it's kind of like Convergence, Ray. I think where it kind of moves around and it finds a new spot. But I wouldn't be surprised if they already have 2025 established where it's going to be. You know, you have to book those things so far in advance. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure that Sherry will supply us with. There we go. Oh yeah. See, Sherry knows all the things. It does rotate every 2 years. The next one is 2025 in St. Louis. Oh, that'll be a lovely spot for a conference. I like that. Excellent. Okay. All right. Did you guys do you have other updates on your projects? Because I'm so excited to show you what's on the floor loom here. I'm gonna walk you through it after I take a big swig. Okay. So, project on the floor loom. Here was how it started. I was kind of ruminating over what I want to do next, and I have kind of checked off. You know, I have my little green box of ideas. Like I kind of checked off the things that were in there. So I'm like, okay, I don't have anything that's pressing. So let me kind of find a pattern that I want to play with that I haven't done in a while or ever. And I settled on doing a little bit of monk's belt. Are you guys familiar with monk's belt? Show of hands. Show me who has done a little bit of monk's belt. Let's see here. There we go. Hello, France, from Quebec, Canada. Is that your first name? Is it France or Francie? Is that it? Sam says no, haven't ever done any kind of monk's belt. Who's on today? It's done a little bit of monk's belt. Let me know. Anyways, yes, yeah, Ellen has. Yes. Oh, France did too. Okay, excellent. So I thought I'm gonna do a little monk's belt, and I'll show you guys. You'll probably recognize the pattern. You may not know the name necessarily. France is my first name. Excellent. Welcome, France. I'm so glad you're here. Suanne says yes, love monk's belt, right? So I decided that's what I'm gonna do. But the next, of course, is what kind of materials you want to use. And I thought Dawn has done monk's belt on inkle. Oh. Ooh, that'd be very cool, Dawn. I like that. Carrie says she's read about it, not play with it yet. Okay, excellent. Okay, so my next thought was, how do I want to, what do I want to do with this? And I thought it's time for a stash buster. Okay, have you guys done these projects? Here is how I tackled it. I will show you. So I have this, I love this kind of yarn, right? It's 8/4 cotton. That's what I love to work with. So that means I have a lot of colors in various quantities. And I've started to put the little bits and bobs in this little container. Just, if it's like a quarter or less, like, you know how that happens, right? You just have there's a little bit left. These are actually pretty full for what I had. So I pulled out all of my little bits and bobs that were in my little container here, just stuff, just, you know, leftovers really. And I thought, I'm just going to lay it all out. I'm going to use it all. That was my thought. This falls into the adding a little spontaneity to your weaving project category. Okay, so let me show you what I got. So what I learned, oh, hi, Rick. Done some monk's belt, fun structure. Jessica says not yet. Okay, excellent. So what I did was I laid out all of these little bits on my cones. I must have had 18 of them, maybe 18, 20. And I looked at the structure of monk's belt, which basically falls into, you either have 6 or 4. They fall into different kind of categories. Okay, I'll show you. It's easier if I show you. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna tilt you down so hopefully you can see what is happening. I'm gonna we'll scoot you back. Nobody get car sick here. Okay, so this is my stash buster. I basically decided I was gonna have kind of monk's belt has this kind of real square-ish texture. Let me show you that. This is from my favorite book, Ann Dixon's book. This is what I'm doing right here. This is what I'm looking for. So I knew as I looked at the threading that I either needed kind of like there's always like a repeat of 6 for the threading, or there'd be something in between. Like it fell into kind of two kind of categories, how I kind of organized it. So I went through and I just kind of alternated my colors. So I'd always have, 6 of this and then 6 of this. And so just whatever. I kind of let the chips fall where they may. Now, I love color. So of course I organized it a little tiny bit. But it was just so fun to be like, I'm going to use the color until it's gone and not worry about if that group of 6 is finished. I'm just going to lay it all out there. So much fun. I also did not worry about how wide the project was going to be. I thought, I have a 36-inch wide loom. Surely I can use up darn near all the colors in those almost 36 inches. So I think my project ended up being about, it's like 32 inches, I think. No, I'm sorry, less than that. It's maybe like 28 something inches, 28 inches, something like that. But it was so much fun to kind of like shake that off and just be like, I'm just not gonna worry about it. I am gonna fill the loom and just make sure I don't go over 36 inches and not worry about the rest. So here is kind of how monk's belt works. First of all, there's kind of you got 2 kind of key components: the threading, right, and then the treadling, which makes sense. That scratch that, pause, rewind. Let me start that again. There's a couple key places you have to pay attention when you're doing monk's belt. The threading, first of all, imagine it's you kind of hang out between 2 shafts as you're threading it. So you'll be like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you go 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. Like you keep kind of like you hover over a set of 2 shafts, and then as you're threading it, then you kind of work your way up to the other 2 shafts, and you go back and forth. That's kind of how you thread the whole thing. It's imagine monk's belt kind of as like a easier version of overshot, if that helps, right? Because that's kind of how you're thinking it. But I find the threading to be much easier than any kind of overshot, because overshot has a few more complexities, and this has a very geometric kind of that's your goal, is this kind of geometric pattern to it. So you have kind of repeats as you're doing the threading, which is lovely. But I say it's like overshot because you have 2 shuttles, and one shuttle is your background, which is tabby, just over under, just plain weave, over under, over under, over under, and the other one is the pattern, kind of the glamour that's going to make your fabric. So one of the things I want to point out that that I've had some people ask about, especially in the Ann book, is there's a number that goes with the fiber. Let me show you what I mean. Is that so? Like I said, this is what I'm doing right here, and if you look up here, it says warp color blue. 2/16, which is which that refers to, for her sample, she actually gives that's the size of the yarn that she used for your sample. Now in here, just as a reminder too, she says use alternating tabby. Some same as the warp after each pattern pick. So you're always going background pattern through the whole fabric. Yeah. So so the size of the fabric here doesn't, the yarn, I'm sorry, the size of the yarn here doesn't necessarily translate to anything crazy, except when you get here, when they're talking about what's going to be in your shuttle, it says 3 by 2/16. So she took 3 of that size and made sure that's what she used for the pattern. Does that make sense? So here's the idea. You want your pattern weft to cover a lot more space. So whatever size you use for your warp, take 3 of those together, or just pick a yarn that's about, typically it's double to triple the size of whatever this is. So it'll really kind of cover the fabric. So those are kind of the basics. Yes, Carrie says she loves stash busting, right? I find that stash busting gives you a lot of freedom because you care less, because you don't know exactly how much you have. So suddenly you're like, oh, well, how do I put this project together? Kind of, I don't say on the fly. That's not fair, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Ellen loves it. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks you guys. Yellow and blue. Yeah. Yes, they were discussing the kind of yellow and blue together, and you know, we have University of Michigan fans here in the house, so that is, yeah, and you know, the pink and yellow, I had a little bit of pink, and I had to start with that because I'm like, I'm just going to get it over with because it's because you know how I feel about pink. Okay, so let me actually do some so you can see what it looks like to create the fabric, and then I'll lean you over so you can actually see kind of head on what the pattern looks like. So like I mentioned, as you weave your monk's belt, it's always background pick and then pattern pick, background pattern, over and over and over again. And I like to think of it as kind of a follow the leader. So background always starts first. Background is always plain weave, and I know for me that if my shuttle's on the left side of the loom, I am going to depress the treadle that's on the left side. That's how I have it set up, so I don't have to think about it. So it's just kind of a visual cue for me. So let's start here. Oh, by the way, you have to have floating selvages. And don't worry about all of this. I am good. You know, there'll be an episode of Handwoven Experience where I will condense it all, and I will be much more succinct in how I describe it. I'll have time to think about this before I do the episode, so you know that'll be coming. Don't you worry. Okay, so I'm going to send my background through right there. You'll notice all the yarns, half of them are up. It's just a regular, just plain old plain weave. Okay, so then let me see if I remember where I am. So what's interesting about this pattern is that, I don't know if you can kind of see, so you're either creating a block by doing six picks together, or you're transitioning in between a block where you do 2 at a time. That's all there is to it, basically. And the way you can kind of see it from there, you can see like let's say this is the block here, and you transition, this is the same one, and then it alternates over to like you kind of go back and forth, you kind of rock back and forth is what I kind of envision in my head. You're kind of alternating. I have this block for a while, I'm gonna go back and forth, and then I have this block for a while. So you know what I mean. Yeah, Jennifer says, that's good that I'm doing it because I'm confused. Yeah, an episode will help. Of course, Jennifer, yes. I will make it nice and succinct for us so that you can, so you can try it. No worries. You sit tight, my friend. I'll get you. Okay, so we did the background pick. Now it's time for the pattern pick. I just combined, I just literally took 3 of kind of gold, kind of yellowy colors together. So I'm going to send that through. By the way, you'll notice, see the big old gaps in my warp? That's how we're going to create these blocks in the fabric, which is kind of fun. Here's where, if you when you think about kind of as you were threading the project and you went like 1 2 1 2 1 2, if you imagine if 1 or 2 isn't lifted, it gives you with these big spaces in the fabric, which is kind of fun. That's how you're going to make this lovely fabric. Okay, so we do the same thing. And if you're looking at Anne's book, by the way, here's one of those instances when she shows the weft, the treadling, it'll have little numbers in it. That's where you got to pay attention to the numbers. It'll say 2 or 6. That's basically those are your options for that. Am I in the right spot? I am in the right spot. Okay, so then this one has to follow along. Now, you know what's so interesting is that I knew I was just going to use my standard kind of yarn, but it does make for kind of a big scale. I did an overshot project last fall, and the scale was enormous because I just didn't think about it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna use my standard yarn and go from there. But if you want this to look much more kind of finessed, like more elegant, just use a smaller yarn. Just scale the whole thing down depending on what kind of yarn you're using. So, okay, here we go. We come back around. Get that out of the way. Part of it is always managing 2 shuttles, which if you haven't played with that yet, it's a whole kind of you have to figure out how that feels to always manage 2 shuttles, because it's not hard. No, but you're always kind of watching how are your edges, which one goes where. It's all good. Okay. We'll do one more and then I'll bring it in so you can see. Yes. Dawn says, I do believe I need to make a great deal of monk spell. It's gorgeous. Adding it to the list. Excellent, Dawn. I'm glad you like it. You know what? It's like I said, if you haven't done any kind of overshot, or even if you have, I think it's a great kind of a gateway. It's a gateway pattern to overshot, I would say, because it's just a little bit simpler, and I think visually it's easier to follow than overshot is. Camille says, when I use 2 shuttles, my edges aren't neat. Any tips? Yeah. I got a couple tips for you. That's so funny because I just recorded an episode all about kind of managing 2 shuttles and the edges. But here's what I would say is that as you're kind of working with the 2 shuttles, it's a matter of constantly wrapping around each other. Like the 2 shuttles, whichever edge they meet up, you kind of watch them just to see where you don't want the loops to get too big on the edges. And that's partly personal preference, Camille, but it is, there isn't like hard and fast rules I found. Part of it's just your kind of personal preference, but just kind of watch whichever edge they meet up on all the time, and then try not to pull so hard because it's easy to do when you're constantly kind of fiddling with the edges. You just try to pull not quite so drastically. Jennifer says, being new to weaving, I still feel kind of lost. That's okay. Still reading and watching videos. I want to get on a floor loom. No worries. We're here for you, Jennifer. There's no rush, my friend. Laura says, does that kind of pattern need a floating selvage to manage too? It does. It does. You're exactly right. Yes. Yes, that's a good call, Laura Sapko, because you definitely need, as you can imagine, especially the pattern, then you're wrapping around, you need something to wrap around on each edge. Just in case you aren't familiar with floating selvage. Do you see my, oh, you guys, I popped a thread. Okay, how funny. Look at this. Do you see this? Okay, I was nervous about that. That's so okay. So as I was winding one of my tubes on, I noticed that the inside of the tube, it looks like it had been like burnt or something, and the yarn wasn't quite as stable. So I was wondering if I would pop one. I totally popped a thread. That hardly ever happens. Anyways, that's just so funny. You saw it right here, live at the Loom. This is real life. Sometimes your yarn is weak and it breaks while you're working on your project. Okay, I will fix that. But this is a floating selvage. Do you see this guy kind of floating? I have one on each side, and the goal of a floating selvage, its job is to stand there and look pretty, because that guarantees that my shuttles always have something to wrap around. They go all the way to both edges of the project. So yes, Christy says, do you have a plan for this beautiful fabric? Not yet. We'll see kind of what what inspires me. As of right now, it's all in the same fiber. So I may keep it that way so I can put it through the washer and dryer and kind of play with how it's going to shrink, which would be very cool. Okay, so hang on, everybody. I'm going to lean you over so you can kind of see what it looks like kind of overhead. And you can see a little closer what the pattern looks like. But you see how those kind of squares, how it repeats like that, which is very, very fun. That's hysterical. I broke a thread. That just doesn't, I'm happy to say that I don't do that very often. The cotton is usually very reliable, but I was watching it and it just looked like the yarn wasn't quite, you can tell when a yarn isn't spun quite right, like it's got a weak spot. So yeah, that's yep, I'll be in there fixing a broken warp thread. That's gonna be next on my agenda today. Yes, Ellen says we make a lovely lap robe. Ooh, very nice. I like it. Thank you, Sam. Sam's in favor of it. Ray says he likes the symmetry of the pattern. That's a good way to put it, Ray. Yes, yeah, it's very geometric kind of look to it. So yeah, I love that. Okay, well, thank you for indulging me, and yeah, it's gonna be really fun. We'll see. I may even change some of the colors as I go, because why not? Why not? We're just playing. All right, you guys. Sue Ann says it is so you to be laughing and smiling after breaking a thread. I must say I'm very much more snarly and perhaps even saying several choice words, like colorful words. Is that what you mean, Sue Ann? Yes. Yes. It's it is. I like I said, doesn't happen very often. So I'm kind of like, hey, look at that. I'm gonna get out my I'm gonna fix it. Here's what's the challenge. Oh, okay. I didn't think about this, you guys, but here's what's so funny is that, this is a Stash Buster project. I don't know if I have this exact color to put in there. We'll see. This could be much more exciting than I anticipated. Hi, Chandra. Really liking the colors. I'm so glad. Yay. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna finish strong. This is this week. If you guys didn't get a chance, watch the interview with Amanda Baxter. She is just the sweetest. I just think she is doing such good things, and she's wonderful. She is the owner of Shiny Dime Fibers and does all kinds of incredible hand painted warp. She's based out of kind of the Bloomington area, Bloomington, Indiana. Go Hoosiers! And this week that was the thank you, Ellen. Ellen says a great interview. Thank you. Yes. Yes, she was my my sweet guest that I interviewed this week for a handwoven interview. So if you haven't had a chance, go check that out and enjoy every bit of the brilliance that is Amanda Baxter. She's just delightful. You just want to hang out with her. You just want to be like, okay, we're gonna get a glass of wine and settle in and just have a good time. Like she's just yeah. Anyway, so that was this week. If you were enjoying all of the Acting Creative stuff, you are always invited to become an Acting Creative Insider, which is a monthly membership. We had our small group Zoom last week. It was a good one. There was only a few of us, but boy, we were solving all the world's problems. Let me just tell you, it was great. It was we really had a wonderful time, and I think that's part of the beauty is that because it's a live Zoom, you can see each other and show projects and ask questions, and it's wonderful. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go check out Acting Creative Insiders, the membership, and come on over and join us. Carrie says this is why I like Live at the Loom. It's so human, warts and all. Thank you, my friend. That is what I can always promise you. It will be human, warts and all. That's for sure. So let's see. Lastly, if you haven't signed up to get the weekly emails, the love notes, I send a little message to you every week and just say hi and here's what's happening and I'm thinking about you and all that kind of good stuff. And I try to include, little anecdote, little whatever. It's just to kind of keep you in the loop. So if you haven't done that yet, go right ahead. Come on over to the website. That's the easiest place to sign up. And while you're there, if you haven't checked out, there's a couple freebies you can take advantage of too, which are very, very helpful. So, okay, this weekend is Memorial Day weekend. Woohoo! At least for us in the States. If you celebrate, happy Memorial Day. Enjoy your extra day off. Grill something. That would be my recommendation. We are, I'm sure we'll be grilling chicken, hot dogs, brats, vegetables, maybe fruit. I don't know. We'll grill probably all the things here because we love that. And it seems like the right thing to do to kick off summer. And it's going to be lovely. But I'll be right back here next Thursday. I'm going to repair a warp. I'm going to repair a warp yarn. And I'll let you know how that goes. We'll reconvene next Thursday. So your homework this week is to do a little something creative. Pet some yarn, start a project, throw a shuttle, do something. And if you feel like grilling too, I encourage that. Oh, thank you, Christy. Christy says I rock. Thank you so much, my friend. It's, you know what, you guys make it easy. This is so much fun to chat with you, and I love the way we kind of share information and answer questions, and it's always wonderful. So put in your calendars next Thursday. I'll be right back here, same time, same channel, doing all the things with the brand new warp yarn. That's the plan. So have a wonderful, fabulous week, everyone, and I will talk to you very soon. Happy weaving.